Alright, y'all.
We are back, but this time we are back to talk about IVF. We know we've been slacking. We done had a lot going on, y'all. We last time we made a video, we talked a bunch about IVF, and it was a long video. We realized we were gonna have to break it down because it can be time consuming. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to talk about. So this specific video is gonna be about the emotional toll and any other tolls it can take on both the person who is carrying and the person who's not carrying. We've had a lot going on. We had a baby shower that turned into a double proposal. We got married. We had our baby moon. We had our photo shoot. We had our baby. So we've been busy, but we are back, guys. Okay, so as far as the emotional toll for me that IVF took, of course, I think you guys should already know. I think we might have already mentioned it, that it took us a few tries to get pregnant. The first 2 times did not work. And so the toll that took on me, especially because I was working with kids, was something that I've never experienced. It became consuming. It became my everything. It was difficult to work with kids while trying to have my own kids and having a hard time. It was difficult. I know a lot of time people talk about the medication and what it can do to your hormones. I wouldn't say it did a lot to me. I mean, do you feel like it affected me, the medication?
Hormones will be hormones.
Yeah.
She was a little moody. A little bit more, her patience was thin. I won't really say moody, but her patience was very thin. But that's about it.
So yeah. Emotionally, I will say that even though I failed a couple times, it was never for me. I know I keep looking, but it's not cool. Is she snoring? Is she breathing just hard? Why are you breathing like that, baby? I will say that I've seen, like, on movies, I've seen, like, on posts, I follow a lot of IVF people that went through IVF couples. And I do know that there are times where people say that it's so hard that you want to give up. It's so hard you don't want to keep trying. It's so hard you should just get a surrogate. It's so hard. It's so hard. It is so hard. I mean, but it's another journey, you know. And for me, I never felt like I want to give up. When we failed, I was like, all right, next period. When can we start again? Like, what can we do to move forward? Like, what do we got to do next time? So I never wanted to give up. I mean, there were times where it got so bad that, like, she was having nightmares about me wanting to, give up or, hurt myself possibly. Never had those thoughts, of course. But it was just hard. There was lots of crying. At the time I was working with a little bitty baby, so holding this little 4-month-old and trying to get pregnant and not getting pregnant was hard. Keeping it to ourselves was not a hard thing. I feel like I've always wanted a baby, and a part of me felt like it's gonna be so hard for me to keep this to myself, and no, it wasn't. When you are going through this, you want to keep it with just between your partner and you. You don't really want to tell the world. You don't, not yet. You feel like you have this small little thing that you're supposed to protect from the world, and you got to keep it a secret until it blossoms, basically, is how I felt. But like overall, emotionally for me, there were times where I busted out crying. I needed her. I couldn't have done this without her. But it, like I said, it becomes all consuming. It becomes everything. Like while I'm at work, it's all I can think about. When I'm at home, when I get a moment from the kids, when I drop the kids off at school, the first thing I'm thinking about is my personal life. I'm thinking about trying to get pregnant and what I need to do and how I need to be better. And so for me, that's how it was emotionally. Being the person who's not carrying, but having to watch your partner go through all of this. How was it for you?
It was alright. I mean, I'm a suppressor. It's like the first one was just like, that's crazy. But alright, let's go again. Second time it was like,
What's
again,
going on? Yeah.
it was never really what's going on for me. I never felt like her body was incapable, and I never wanted her to feel like her body was incapable. So anytime I saw her getting down, I made sure that she knew that your body's in great shape. I'm sure you're fertile. I don't really think it's us. Honestly, our first IVF
The transfer
cycle,
or the
just the first IVF cycle period as a whole. The first IVF cycle. I remember we were back in Chicago. We were still in Chicago at this point. And I remember cracking a joke while I was giving her a progesterone shot in her glute. And I was like, girl, your body trying to tell us that you don't need all this medication because you were supposed to inject, hold it in there for 5 seconds, and release. And after a while, it started releasing with me. So I would take the needle out and the oil would come out as well. Not thinking anything of it, kind of. It's just like, your body don't, what do we know? This is what we need to get you pregnant. This is what we got. So I feel like my biggest thing was just making sure that she knew that her body was capable. And I wanted her to understand, like, I'm not going to grieve like you. It's going to hit different for me because I'm not carrying a child. I'm not taking shots. I'm not doing anything that you are doing. So please don't expect me to grieve the same way that you're grieving. And I feel like for a moment it was kind of like, not do you care, but like,
it was different.
Where are you at with this?
Like I would be boohoo crying.
Yeah.
And she would just be crying.
Yeah, But I feel like that's also just who we are. We have our strong suits. We're both crybabies. It's just about when. So I remember thinking like, your body don't need all this. When it came time for the third one and she was on a modified natural and her body took to it with no hesitation, then I really was like, that thought that I had was true.
Yeah.
Like,
because I did
you
have
were
those
over medicated.
I had
Whether
those...
anybody says it or not, I think that the first go around she was over medicated.
Because I did have those thoughts. That's one thing I did mention, is that when you are going through IVF and you are trying to get pregnant and it's not working, as a woman, your first thoughts are, what is wrong with me? Mm-hmm. This is the one thing my body is supposed to do. So what's wrong with me? And the first thought you have is, can I not have kids? Mm-hmm. Because at this point we not even just having sex to get pregnant. We got people doing everything for us. We got people in control of my period. Literally, they were in control of when my period came and everything. So we got science on our side, and I still wasn't getting pregnant. So for me, it was scary because it's like, I got people literally doing everything for my body and I'm still not getting pregnant. So what's wrong? And I did have those thoughts that it was me, that was my body, that people kept saying, oh my God, you're so young. And oh my God, you retrieved 42 embryos and oh my God, or eggs, oh my God, like everything's perfect in this, like everything's perfect. And you keep saying everything's perfect, but like, this is now try. Because the first time, like she said, we were like, okay, it's expected. You're not going to just, some people do get pregnant on the first go, but it was just kind of like, okay, it was the first try. It's fine. And then, like she said, the second, it's like, okay, and so it's like she said, you have those thoughts about your body. And I did have those thoughts that it was me. And she quickly reassured me and was off the back, like, I think it was the clinic, and we did try.
2 times.
2 times with the clinic.
With the clinic. That we failed with. 2 times.
And then we tried in Chicago. Boom. Bada boom, bada bang, bada bang.
Yeah.
And we did, it's like she said, the approach was different. They did
I was just going to say that honestly, y'all, like, of course, everybody's different as far as companies. But Kind Body, y'all, that's who we went through in Chicago. Kind Body is amazing.
Amazing.
Also, if you need help financially, when fertility is amazing.
And we'll go into details about finances.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a separate video because that's a whole nother topic. We just wanted to talk about the emotional tolls that it can take on the person carrying, the person not in our situation, or if it's you and your husband, you know, how your husband may handle things differently than you. But we will do a different video where we talk about the financial aspects of it, because that's where everybody's questions come in. You know, how much did it cost? What is covered? Is medicine covered? Is medicine not covered? You know, and we know, because we did this 3 times, it can go many different ways. A lot of it we paid out of pocket. Some we end up not paying out of pocket. So we will go into details about that later.
Also, for those who aren't carrying and are just the support system, you know, for your partner or for a friend or a sibling or something, you know, family member, don't feel bad if you don't react the same. Because there were moments where I was like, damn, did you care? Or
Really?
why are you so chill about it? Yeah. But it's like, 1, this is who I am. 2, I'm not experiencing any of this. I'm administering it. I'm administering your shots. I'm just here.
Messiah,
for
get
support.
off of him.
So, like, I'm sure our small dog was just trying to hump our big dog. Whatever, though. And I remember, like, I feel like I had talked to my aunt at some point during all of this. And she kind of, like, reassured me, like, no, like, how you feel is totally valid, and it's gonna hit different because it's not your body. You don't feel the loss the same way that I didn't feel the loss the same way that she felt the loss, because I didn't feel anything start to grow inside of me and then feel my body change and notice the emptiness. You know what I mean? So, like, for me, I'm just going off your words, and I'm just going off of hope. I hope that we get pregnant the first time. We didn't get pregnant the first time. Cool. Second time. Let's do it. Same thing. Hopefully. No. Now, by the 3rd time, I was complacent. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm invested, but I'm very... I got my wall up. Like, because at this point, if it happens again, I probably really... I'm going to be confused. And I'm going to be trying to figure out, like... So what is it? Not that I never thought it was her body. It was just more so like, why isn't it happening? Like, I feel like for me it was kind of more so universe and God, like, what's going on? If it doesn't happen again, what is the reason? What was the reason? So.
That's nice to hear you talk about.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That is, you know, the emotional tolls it can take on both the partner that is trying to get pregnant and the partner that is there to support.
Yeah.
And as I stated, we'll be back with more. We're going to talk about, you know, the scary times that we had with medication, forgetting medication, missing a dosage. We're going to talk about the financial aspects of everything and how we paid, and, you know, what insurance is offered, and, you know, what can be covered, what cannot be covered. And just many more. You know, any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment. We can go into detail about that in another video. But we just wanted to come back and show y'all some love and update y'all with more IVF information. Like I said, we've been busy.
That part.
But yeah, so until next time, guys.
Peace out. A-Town.